Welcome to the Wokest War in Ohio, where we have the Wokest Discourse. This is part 3 of my discussion about how happy my childhood was. I had to talk to my daughter on the phone a little bit, and then I decided to take a break and actually go listen to some Jane's Addiction songs. I listened to the first Jane's Addiction song I ever heard, which was on 120 Minutes. I heard Mountain Song off the Nothing Shocking album, and I immediately went out and bought the album with the white cover, the live one, their live album that they put out before Nothing Shocking. And because my friend had Nothing Shocking, so I just dubbed that off my friend. Okay, so this is what I want to know. What the hell is so bad about socialism? Because if we had socialism in the United States, like they do in China, we would live a much better quality of life. I was talking to my dad about how I saw this Chinese foreign minister on Al Jazeera the other day, and he was talking about how China is going to be fully EV. They're going to do away with cars with internal combustion engines completely by like 2018 or something. I forget the stats. But it was like they were going for 100% EV. And I said to my dad, I was like, how are they going to do it? That's an enormous undertaking. And he was like, it's because they don't let their citizens drive cars. He was like, only the party leaders get to drive cars. Everybody else has to ride a bicycle. And you know, that was true in like 1940, maybe. Like, I don't think that a lot of Americans have a really accurate picture of what life is like in China today. And I've never been there, but one of the things I can tell you is they don't have homeless people. No one in China is homeless. Most people in China own their own home, and their housing is better than our housing overall. And when I told my dad that, he didn't believe me. It wasn't that he thought I was lying. He was just incredulous. It was more like, oh yeah, my daughter got brainwashed by some communist propaganda. But I'm telling you, like, these old, outdated 20th century ideas about what life is like under communism are just bizarre to me, because you can look at other socialist countries in the world and how much better people live there. And like, that's all I need to know. Now, I've read a lot about Marxist theory and political economy and the history of socialism and socialist geography and blah, 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 right? Lots of books. And it turns out that socialism is actually pretty cool. I think that we get taught so much propaganda about how shitty it was in the Soviet Union. And it's true that it was pretty shitty at times in the Soviet Union. That it's like people have that idea seared into their brain, and they don't get it that like it wasn't always like that in the Soviet Union. You know, like there were years that were bad, but like that happened in the 1930s. Americans just want to whitewash what happened in the 1930s in the United States. The people that were living in Hoovervilles, this starvation that took place because of the Great Depression. I mean, it would be like you're talking to somebody in China and they're like, oh, the United States is horrible. People stand in bread lines. And you're like, well, actually, that's true. But I think that children growing up in China today are living the lifestyle that me and my sister had when we were growing up in the 1980s in McDonald, Ohio, where everybody I knew's parents both had union jobs. People don't understand that, like, the standard of living in China is actually pretty good. And the standard of living in our country is going down. There was a period of time where the standard of living in the United States was higher than the standard of living in China. But China is rapidly surpassing us. They, in terms of like equity and poverty, like we have more poverty in the United States than they do in China. I swear, it's true. And people have these ideas like that you're gonna get like sent to Siberia to a work camp. That's what's happening in the United States right now. Instead of Siberia, you know, instead of the KGB, it's ICE. Instead of Siberia, it's like an ICE detention camp. Those are just work camps that the companies that run those camps slave those people out. They pimp them out to like factories and farmers to do work for free. Some of them get paid like $1 a day, but mostly like they're being forced to work for free. They don't get fed. They don't get their rations if they don't work. And if that shit is not some Nazi Germany shit, I don't know what is. I mean, please tell me, if you do not believe me, which part you don't believe, okay? Because I want everyone to know this is true. Do you not believe the people in China are not poor? Do you not believe that they have universal health care? Do you not believe that people in this country are poor? Like, which part don't you believe, so that I can focus on that and make that as clear to you as I can? Thanks for listening.